Oral hygiene, a brief but most fascinating history. As we go along, you'll hear in the background explosions. I just wanted to let you know that I'm not in a war zone and that Jade Helm 15 has not started here. It is actually July 5th, and there are still a lot of revelers out there driving me nuts with their explosions. But anyways, the other day, I was out and about looking for relics at one of my favorite spots, and I happened upon a rather heavy toothbrush handle, sans the bristles. They were gone. It was made of Bakelite, an early form of plastic, and that was probably from the late 1920s to the 1930s, as it even had a sort of Art Deco look to the handle. This kind of got me thinking about how the toothbrush came about in the first place. Now be honest, how many times have you wondered the very same thing, Alright, probably never. But following are a few interesting facts that I was able to come up with. Some of them are rather gross, and some of them are just plain interesting. See, I've read that before the toothbrush, a twig was commonly used, and how it worked was like this. You would chew the end of the twig till the end formed what would appear to be bristles. When the bristles were worn out, you would simply cut the stubs off and chew it again. And as late as the 19th century, people still brushed with a twig and with table salt. Yuck! Early toothbrushes were actually invented in China, and that was somewhere about the year 1500. And then by the 1600s, the toothbrush was a big hit in Europe. Prior to that, the Europeans had what sounds like a truly disgusting ritual for keeping their teeth clean, so to speak. They mopped their teeth with rags or sponges that, are you ready for this, were dipped in sulfur oil or a salt solution, and sometimes deliciously both. Some Europeans applied ingenuity and fastened the rag or sponge to a stick. Now, the Chinese version was quite unique in that it was made of hog's bristles that were tied to bamboo or to bone. In 1938, there came a great advance when DuPont came up with nylon filament for a truly state-of-the-art experience with bristles. However, using sulfur oil, salt, and sometimes urine in ancient Rome must have been an almost foreboding experience, especially for kids. I mean, even when I was a kid, brushing your teeth was really a major task to get my parents to get us kids to do it on a regular basis. And by that time, we had flavored toothpastes, albeit only a couple flavors, but the one I really liked, I think, was Pepsodent. It had red and white spirals in it. They never would buy that for some reason. I don't really understand why, but that's a little bit off from where I was going right now. Some ancients did, however, use toothpaste with powdered fruit, honey, or even dried flowers. That might not have been too bad. On the other hand, some toothpaste concoctions were made with revolting recipes that included mice parts, the head of a rabbit, and even lizard livers. And besides the Romans, Spanish and Dutch writings from the 14th century and 15th centuries suggest that urine was saved and used as a cleansing agent. And it probably purged your stomach too, because I'm sure that most people would want to puke their guts out at brushing their teeth with somebody else's pee, or even their own. Chugging along, though, to the 1850s, chalk was then added with soap for a foaming detergent action. And moving ahead to 1931, we find that Dr. Frederick McKay of Colorado confirmed a link between fluoride and a reduction in tooth decay. And then in 1956, when I was but a wee little guy of 1 year old, Procter & Gamble became the first company that added fluoride to its toothpaste. And after that, brands and flavors have abounded prolifically. They've flooded the consumer marketplace with, oh my goodness, different flavors, different sensitivities, different whitening agents, just about everything that you could imagine. I need to do a video here soon on the history of dentistry itself, because that in my family was a most traumatic experience, and I have some interesting stories to tell about chomping on a few dentists' fingers and getting kicked out of more than just one dentist's office. But for now, that's it. Hope you've enjoyed this. I enjoyed bringing it to you. Have a great evening.